Inside PressBox is presented by Friedmont Mortgage. Don't make a 30-year mistake by choosing the wrong lender. Go to Friedmont.com now for all of your mortgage needs. And welcome to another edition of Inside PressBox. I'm your host, Stan the Fan Charles. The NFL Draft has just ended. This week, I'll be joined by PressBox draft expert Matt Zenitz to discuss the early Ravens picks, and I'll also talk with the director of the Maryland Lottery, Stephen Martino, about their newest partnership with the Orioles. But first, earlier this week, Lee Corrigan of Corrigan Sports stopped by the studio to talk about the upcoming Under Armour All-American Lacrosse Classic. Let's take a look. As promised, we are back with the president of Corrigan Sports, my friend Lee Corrigan. And Lee, we have you on to talk about the upcoming Under Armour All-American Lacrosse Classic, which is taking place the weekend of June the 29th on the campus of Towson University.
Yeah, you bet. It's the 7th annual event. We're really excited about it. You know, it's really panned out to be a great event for lacrosse, and you know, our Under Armour All-Americans then go off to college and make a real impact on college lacrosse.
You know, it's amazing to me when you look at the growth of lacrosse and you look at the growth of Under Armour. Boy, they really seized on capturing a real segment of this lacrosse market early on in their existence.
Yeah, they really have. And, you know, credit to Kevin Plank and Kip Fulks, who was an instrumental guy over there at Under Armour, you know, to recognize the growth of lacrosse and see what was coming down the pike. And, you know, you're right, the event has grown along with Under Armour, and as you said, the sport is just exploding all over the country.
Now, the event will be a men's and women's. I mean, they're co-events on the same campus, same weekend. Tell us a little bit about the process by which players can get selected.
Sure.
And is that process still ongoing right now?
It is. Well, the Under Armour All-American is really a two-part event. Number one, it's the senior games, okay, where you take the 44 best men and 44 best women, and you divide them up into a north-south format, which is there's always a lot of history
kind of
there.
like the high school basketball, the
Exactly.
Capital Classic or something like that.
You got it. And so, and of course you have the natural rivalry of the Baltimore guys versus the New York guys, which has been around for years and years and years. So that's always very popular. And then the other part of it is the underclassmen all-stars, and we have 10 different regions around the country where these underclassmen, high school kids, try out for these teams. And it's not unusual for us to have 250 kids at these tryouts, whether it be Philadelphia, upstate New York, Long Island, right here in Baltimore, and you know, tons of college coaches use that as a recruiting venue.
I'm just curious now, has that been part of this event for the 7 years, the underclassmen? And I'm curious, how many were there 7 years ago trying out for this?
Oh my God, that part of the event has absolutely exploded. And when we first started the event, myself and Steve Batista over at Under Armour, we kind of...
Steve's a good friend.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and he's helped put this thing together, certainly in its infancy stages. And originally, to your point, it was like, well, how do we get more people in the stands? Well, let's do a Baltimore versus Washington underclass thing. And that turned out to be so popular, and so many college coaches started going to those tryouts that we said, let's expand this thing to Philadelphia and Long Island and upstate. And next thing you know, we got 10 regions, 10 boys, 10 girls regions, and a whole underclassmen tournament underneath the big banner of the Under Armour All-American Senior Games.
So if somebody is watching this right now in this region, maybe they know somebody in Philly or up in Connecticut or something like that, how would they get to try out to be part of the underclass?
Well, they go to our website, underarmourlacrosse.com, and they see when the tryouts are in their various regions. And it's a great value. It's
Are they starting up in the next couple weeks?
Yep, they're starting up in the next couple weeks, and we have me and my boys, my merry men, will be traveling around the land setting up these tryouts, and you know, they typically go on for about 6 hours. Sometimes it's all done in one day, sometimes it's 2 days, and you know, we have hundreds of kids show up. We have 80 college coaches show up.
A question, that was what you were anticipating my next question. What's in it for these underclassmen is being seen by places where they can get Division I scholarships, correct?
And there are unbelievable stories too. You're absolutely right. That's the real value for the kids. The value is they pay $125, okay, the boys do, the girls pay $75, and what they get is they get a beautiful Under Armour tech tee. They get a beautiful Under Armour reversible, so that's a great value right there. They get a free subscription to Inside Lacrosse, and the big value is certainly the 80 college coaches sitting there on the sidelines with the bio book looking at these kids play. And it's terrific if you make the underclass all-star team from Baltimore. No doubt, awesome opportunity. But there's unbelievable stories of kids that never made the teams, but still got
runs. It's amazing. Tell me, we've got a little over a minute right now, but tell me where the sport of lacrosse is going, because you're really at that epicenter of this with the youth kids.
Yeah, we are.
16, 15.
Yeah, and we're involved on a lot of different levels. I coach a club lacrosse team called the Rough Riders. We're very, very good, and we go all the way down to U13, all the way up to elite U18 program. And we do some girls tournaments and boys tournaments. Certainly, the real highlight of what we do is the Under Armour All-American Lacrosse Classic, and it is growing. It is exploding. In 4 years from today, there'll be twice as many kids playing lacrosse than are right now. So it is moving so quickly, and what's really exciting is what's happening out in the non-traditional spots. Places like Texas, Colorado, California. It's just blowing up, and people just can't get enough.
And those kids all have to be outfitted with
Under Armour. You betcha.
Lee Corrigan, thanks a lot. Again, the tournament, the Under Armour All-American Lacrosse Tournament is June 29th, 30th, and
July
1st at Towson. Go to underarmourlacrosse.com for more information. Lee Corrigan, thank you very much, and we will return when we get back. And you'll be able to read more about the event at PressBoxOnline.com. And in the front row section of the May print edition of PressBox, we're going to take a short break right now, but stay tuned. When we get back, I'll chat with the director of the Maryland Lottery, Stephen Martino, and draft expert Max Zenitz will be here in a little later, so don't go away. Go to PressBoxOnline.com and register a youth team in your community for a chance to be highlighted as the PressBox Youth Team of the Month. Sponsored by Sports Authority. Go to PressBoxOnline.com for all the details.